Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Agent Wealth Network, where you know what we do. We help increase the business and the wealth for both real estate agents and brokers. And every week we just have some amazing people on and that take us to the next level. But this week we really have a special guest on with us, Verl Workman. And Verl is an expert to take you to the next level. And I kind of like looking at it like baseball, that, if you're a baseball player and you're hitting 200, that means you get 2 hits out of every 10. And what Verl does is he has a way to help agents, and you're going to see some of this data here. It really is just blow away information on where he can. And so back to the baseball analogy, if I just would get one more hit every 10 times at bat, I'd be hitting 300 and I'd be making millions of dollars in the pros. And that's exactly what Verl does. So Verl, good morning. Verl Workman with Workman Success Systems. Good morning. You're in Utah on vacation. We see the mountains in the background. And how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me this morning.
You bet. I've been following you and have seen just some people like testimonials this morning. In fact, before the show, I said, hey, I'd like to see. And I saw a testimonial on the lady was doing about 25 deals. And because of you, is doing over 50 deals now. And like very quickly getting up to speed. And so could we kind of step back a little, Verl, and just kind of tell us a little about how you got into this, and then how did you find these secrets in order to help agents hit a home run every month?
So how I got into this was I was just happy selling houses. Before I started selling houses, I sold satellite dishes and hot tubs. So I'm a sales guy to my core. So when I started selling houses, I came into real estate with the attitude that you had to close, and I had very early on success and had the opportunity to start sharing some of the sales strategies and practices with other agents, and that kind of launched me as a speaker. And what would happen is I'd go and do seminars, and after the seminar, people would be like, well, I want some help. And so we developed a group coaching program where agents would come in and they'd pay $1,000 and we'd help them over, a 10-week period, set up their business plan, get their contact manager, do a pre-listing package, basic fundamentals that everybody knows they need to do. But this was in the early 90s. And that business just kind of skyrocketed. Homes.com ended up buying it from me. And then that was kind of another level of growth for me as a presenter. And as a result of being on so many stages and getting with so many people, I realized that I wasn't that great, and that there's so many amazing people out there. And so I've made a career out of finding the most talented, most successful people and studying their business, what they do, how they do it. And then at our company today, we create systems and best practices around that. I call it the wisdom of the crowd. That's our.
I love that. I love that. So some of the wisdom, what are some of the basics that you use to get a high producing, let's say that I'd like to use your services. I'm a real estate agent. I'm with EXP Realty. And so I would like to have some of your services. Like, where do we start? How can you help me? Can you help us to understand the value that you provide us?
Yeah, so the first thing we do is we want to know if there's a fit. So we're going to do a business analysis. I want to know where you are. I want to know how much production you're doing, and I want to know what your biggest challenges are. And I'll tell you that there's several things that are common with pretty much every conversation I have. Would you like me to share some of those?
Sure.
So the first thing is, right now business is good, and so everybody's busy. And so they start giving up things that matter more than work to do work. They stop going to their kids' ball games. They stop doing date night with their spouse. They no longer hang out with friends. They skip church on Sunday. All the things that give them joy in their life, they stop doing, and they work because they're doing all the aspects of the transaction, prospecting, following up, doing all the paperwork and everything. And so the first thing everybody wants is they want more time. They want to get their life back. One of the most heartbreaking things for me is when an agent comes to me and says, I'm a normal agent, I'm divorced. And for me, that's not okay. I don't believe that any of their success can compensate for failure in the home. And so for me, it's creating a great life. Real estate's not that complicated. But having balance in your life is, and if if you get up every day and you want to make a difference in other people's lives, starting with your families,
Yes.
then we can help you put the place. Time is the first one. The second thing that people really look for is they want to increase their income. They want to make more money, take more money home, have more money left in the bank at the end of the year. And so I want more time, I want more money. And then the last thing, and this is really our specialty, is they want to learn how to create leverage. They see all this opportunity that's out there, but they don't have time to take on any more clients. And so they stop calling their database or doing things to generate real revenue. And so we are specialists in helping people understand what their highest and best use of time is, and then teaching them how to incorporate systems, assistance, and then other human resources to build real estate teams. And so we build some of the most successful real estate teams in the world.
That is fantastic. You know what? Let me just, and you do, in fact, I just saw, for example, you showed me before we started on some people making over $100,000 a month in real estate, and just with that one stream of revenue of commissions. And I did want to comment on a couple things. First of all, I love this idea about the balance of life and needing this balance of life, and we're, in our personal lives to be able to balance that. And one of the things being a mental scientist that I have found is, a couple of tips for agents is if you start saying you're busy, what that creates, whatever we focus our attention on grows. And so if I say I'm real busy, what happens is I become busier and busier and busier, and pretty soon I don't have any time. Or they say, on your point number 2 is time. They say, oh, I don't have enough time. Well, what happens is whatever you're saying, if you're saying, I don't have enough time, if you will, God will answer all of our prayers, and our prayers are thought and our words. And word is just articulated thought, and that's why it's so powerful. And so when I say I don't have enough time, God's going to make it not enough time for us. And so what I love is that you bring in then this, and I love the word leverage, where you help with the different systems, identify, what's important, and what I call high payoff activities. And so how would I build then a high producing team? How do we go about doing that?
Well, first it starts with operational excellence. The reason that agents can't delegate is because everything they do is in their head and it's in their heart. And so they love their clients, they do a good job for them, but they haven't created any duplicatable systems. And so we have a training center that has a program called Admin Mastery, or AMP. And that is for training your administrative assistant to build an operations manual. So everything you duplicate 3 times in your business, we create a system for it. Systems for everything. And then we create Zoom videos. And so, how we enter stuff in the MLS, how we create our flyers, what we do with call capture, it's all built in systems. And so the first thing is we have systems first, and then we do assistants. I believe that every agent, the day they start real estate, should have an assistant. That every hour you spend doing $15 an hour tasks is sending a very clear message to your family that they're not worth $15 an hour to you. And so delegate it, have somebody else do the paperwork. There's really only 3 things an agent should do, and that's prospect, list and show houses, and negotiate contracts. Everything else can be done by a team or by technology.
Wow. There you go. You know it. We know your stuff is. You can just rattle this off, and it's like second nature. Could you? So it also, one of the things that you're known for nationally and probably beyond the borders even is you know how to develop and leverage high volume lead generation systems. And so, can you talk to us a little about that?
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you that that's not next, meaning, so when you get your assistant, what a lot of teams do is they come in and they say, well, I need to buy leads for all my agents. So I'm going to get Boomtown or Chime or Commissions Inc. or one of these high volume lead generators.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that before we ever do that, we first have to put a lead tracker in place, and we have to start tracking all the leads that are currently coming in your business. So step 1 is, let's get a handle on business that you're already getting, and let's start tracking it differently. And when you start tracking it correctly, you realize there's so much business, you don't need to go out and spend big dollars on high volume lead generators. Now, once you're doing well with that, the second thing you need to know is that when you hire a buyer's agent, for example, their job description is prospect, show homes, negotiate contracts. Well, number 1 is prospect. But a lot of team leaders go out there and they think, well, if I'm going to hire buyer's agents, I have to go buy a lead generator and give them leads. Yeah. So if you really want a successful team, you have to teach your agents how to hunt, not just give them leads. And if you don't teach them how to hunt, you're failing them. So once we have a lead generator in place, then we have agents doing their job and their prospecting. Then we start looking at high volume lead generators. And it could be Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, Boomtown. It doesn't really even matter to me. I can show you how to make money with any of them. The key is that we turn it on, and then we track everything, and then we categorize the leads. We categorize it as an A lead, a B lead, or a C lead. And we have a very specific system for lead follow-up. And now, if you like me, I'll share it with everybody. I'll just give it to you.
Sure, love to it. Yeah.
Okay, so an A lead is somebody you have an appointment with. So you get a lead that comes in, you talk to them on the phone, you set the appointment, that's an A lead.
Okay.
Anytime you meet with a client, you go out and show a house, and they don't make an offer, and you say, I'll call you next week, unless you say Monday or Tuesday, 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock, and set the appointment, it moves to a B lead. So we teach our agents to constantly be moving people forward in the process. We always set appointments. So when you close, you schedule the next appointment. Yeah. A B lead is somebody who's not ready for 30 to 90 days. And so a B lead is 30 to 90 days out. We're going to call them twice a month during the weeks that the 1st falls on and the week that the 15th falls in. And so we categorize all of our leads in our system. So I can go into my Boomtown and I can bring it up and I can say, bring me up all the B leads, because today's the week of the 24th, so it's not either one. But I'll go through and I'll look at all my B leads and I give them a call. And you want me to tell you what I tell them?
Sure.
All right, so Dr. Hank, you'll have a little bit of fun with me. I'm a dialogue guy, so you can
okay. Yeah.
So if I were to call you up, I'd say, hi, this is Verl. I'm just calling to make sure I'm not dropping the ball. Are you getting all the properties that I'm sending you?
And so, yeah, I am. I'm getting the properties. Looking good.
Is there anything you'd like to get inside of, or would you like me to change anything in your search?
Well, I'd really like to get a little bit further east if I could. Could I get something a little east?
How much further east? Let's get specific. And I'm going to go in the MLS. I'm going to change your auto hot sheet, and then I'm going to set that up. And I'm going to call you in a couple weeks, see if you get any closer.
Yeah, I think, well, if I go east like 5 more miles, do you think that they would be a little bit less expensive, the homes?
Yeah, you'll get more square footage for the dollar that you spend.
Okay, great. Yeah, and so that's what I'd like.
And so we'll have dialogue about that, and then we'll get it dialed in. So a C lead is someone who's more than 90 days out. They're 90 days forever out. We're going to call them once a month during the week that the 8th falls in. So our B leads we call the week during the weeks of the 1st and the 15th. C leads we call during the week of the 8th. And then during the week of the 22nd, we focus on our sphere of influence or our database.
Okay, got it.
I don't know if you realize what I just gave you, but I just gave you a 7-figure lead follow-up system. Wow. The difference between the average agents and the exceptional agents is the exceptional agents will actually follow it.
Yes, exactly. Well, that's what, I every week we share this information, and I have some agents good. Do you have something to show us on an agent that, is doing really good? Could you share your screen with us and show us on what you're really talking about to see these numbers? They're pretty incredible, Verl.
Well, so let me set it up first so you understand what we're talking about. So this is a gal that I met in Texas. I had done a seminar for RE/MAX of Texas, and a little gal on the front row came up to me afterwards. She said, I want you to be my coach. And I said, well, I'm not taking on any clients. Yeah. And she got emotional and she said, I need your help. I really need your help. I said, tell me why. And understanding someone's real why is important to me. And she said, well, I'm a single mom. I have 2 boys at home. I'm working 13 hours a day. I never see my kids. And I've been stuck at the same income level for the last 3 years, making about $250,000 a year. Wow. And I said to Christy, Christy, are you willing to do what I tell you to do? And she said, yes, I am. And I said, well, let's talk about it. So I sat down and we started doing some things. We started by tracking her leads, and then we hired an assistant, and then we started getting buyer's agents. And today she's built a team. Now, I'll tell you that Christy no longer works with buyers, and she no longer works with sellers. She's a CEO of a company, and she runs a team. And the whole key with her team is that her job today is business development and people development. It's developing her people. And so let me take you into, and I'll just show you one of our trackers. We track everything. So let me go in, And let me show you Christy's 2018 tracker. So this is her actual tracker, and this shows all of her commissions by the individual person on her team. This shows the number of total sales for the month. And then this one right here, let me bring this up a little bit. This shows you what her commission has been every month this year. So January was 103, February 103, March 203. April was her biggest month in her history. She did $311,000 in commission, 262 in May, 248 in June, and then July had 186. Now, what's interesting, if you look at her pending transactions, she probably has 50 or 60 deals pending. She's got 40 deals that are pending as well, right? So it's going to be a great year for the Christy Buck team. Now,
about what's the average sale that she works in?
250,000. She's in Clear Lake, Texas. I mean, she's not selling real expensive houses. She's going to sell a few hundred houses this year. The key is that she's increased her average sales price, and she's created leverage by having other people do it. Now, look at this. If you look at my document right here, this is Christy Buck. She's actually in the document right now. This is a live document where she keeps her stuff. This is Susan, who's one of her assistants, and this is Delma, one of her transaction coordinators. So they're in the document, they're keeping it accurate, and they're keeping it current.
Look at that. Wow.
So another great question is how? How do you get there?
Yeah. So how do you get there, bro?
Let me show you one of the biggest challenges with people, and I know you're a smart guy. Anyone that has a DR in front of their name tells me that they're smarter. I mean, I did my 18 months at the community college, and they said, Verl, you got to go sell something. You're driving us crazy.
Yeah, the beauty is none of us need any of this education at all. We just need the common sense that you're providing here. You know, it's just one step after the next, and to measure it, to look at it, to have the accountability of it. It's just an incredible system you have here, Verl.
Thank you. So what this is called Agile Project Management. And Agile is how I take people that are really smart, that have hundreds of ideas. You know, imagine every time you do an interview with a top producer or someone that's an influencer, and they give you all these ideas. Well, how do you implement them all? What do you do next? So what we do as team leaders is we drive our people crazy because we listen to your podcast or we go to a show or convention, and then we come back to the office and say, now we're going to do this, and now we're going to do that, and everyone goes crazy. And so because that's my personality type, we always chase shiny objects, I was introduced to Agile, and we kind of reinvented it. So what happens is we create a list of all the things that are important in our business. So Christy needed to get her listing inventory up to 75. There's a limited amount of inventory. And on a coaching call, Christy was whining. She was saying, well, I can't get my inventory up. There's not enough listings. And I said to Christy, that's a bunch of bull crap. There's plenty of listings. It's just that somebody else has them.
Right.
And so
that's exactly there. There is, this world has everything that we want. And that if we can think it, that God has the ability to bring it. So you're exactly right. I remember in the recession that they were saying, oh, there aren't any homes selling in Dallas. And, well, yeah, there are 4,000 homes every month we're selling in the recession. You just weren't getting any of them.
Well, and it's because it's not your focus. We spend too much of our time doing fake work. And that's where we pretend that we're busy doing things that don't actually move us any closer to accomplishing our goals. And so what this is called, check this out. This is called a project backlog. And look at all the projects. These are all the ideas and things that Christy wants to do. And so there's 38, 40 different projects. Well, nobody can do that. And so what we do is we take this left-hand column A, and I make her go through it, and we put a number by each project in order of priority. Then we sort highest to lowest. Once we give it a date, it means it's go time. We create what's called a sprint. And so getting the listing inventory up is really high on the priority list. So I come down here, and you'll see on the bottom tab, it says listing inventory up. When I click that, this is now the sprint. That means we've taken it off the idea backlog, we've put it into an action plan, and here's all of the activities that she had to go through and do in order to grow her listing inventory up to 75. And so what we do is we go from good ideas to a high level of execution based on our priorities. And that's how we take people from $250,000 a year to $2 million a year in income, is we execute around priorities.
Wow, that is just tremendous. The thought occurred to me that I have in EXP, we have free lead systems, just $50 per month for the technology package, and their conversion and their sync. And you mentioned sync. And so my EXP agents could actually use your system in order to even get more out of it. Because right now, like on conversion, we're getting about 8%, where, if you do realtor.com, on average, it's 1 out of 100. So, we're doing 8 times better, if you will, because we have conversion. But can you make this so does your close ratio increase? How would that, can you do conversion, and can you, which is now turned to KV Core, they just upgraded their product. Can you take KV Core and bring it to get better results on that?
The answer is absolutely. As a matter of fact, we have I have several coaches that are with EXP that are my coaches that are phenomenal, and actually one of them is a master coach, Rick Jiha, who's one of the best speakers in the country, and he does a great job. What we do for lead conversion, it doesn't matter what the source is. Most people drop the ball in lead conversion and the follow-up. Conversion happens between the 7th and the 12th contact. Most agents call once or twice and they never call again and say these leads are all crap. And what's crap is your follow-up. It's not the lead. There's I like to say there's no such thing as a bad lead. Only people who aren't ready yet.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So we wrote. So what we do is we do a series of things. Now remember, I sold my last company to Homes.com, so I have quite a background in technology and lead conversion strategies, and we do consulting for companies like Boomtown, and we help their success managers and their teams get higher conversions of their lead systems. And so when they ask us to help them, we look at why people are failing. It's usually because they don't have a systematic approach to follow up. So when I gave you ABC, just by implementing that into any lead system, you're going to see an increase conversion. We also wrote a series of letters called the 7-Day Indoctrination Series. And so what happens is when you call, email, text, and you don't get a response, we then launch them on an email a day that comes to them for 7 days. We've tested the subject line, we've tested the content, we've tested the call to action. And so by testing all of the messaging that goes out, we end up with a much higher level of conversion. And lead conversion is a process. It's not just a
right. And this is just this is exciting, very exciting. How can I? So how do we get a hold of you, first of all? What's the best way to get a hold of you in order to, so let's just do KB Core, it's lead system, and I want help with that. And I know you probably back up, and they got to help them get to the point where they're effective with that, with your systems. But how do we, first of all, get a hold of you, Verl?
So the best way is it's coach@workmansuccess.com.
Okay.
Coach@workmansuccess.com. Or you can simply go to workmansuccesssystems.com online, and on our website it has our training center that anybody can subscribe to, and there's training for buyers agents, listing agents, and administrative assistants. It's $99 a month. Okay. You can also on our website sign up for a free disc profile where you can send your people if you're looking who to hire, and you can also sign up for a free business consultation. And so the best thing is go to our website at workmansuccesssystems.com. And click on the free tab and go in and download stuff. We give away stuff free all the time. I've learned that you get by giving. And so if there's anything that you need that I can do to help you in your business with lead conversion, if you ask me for it, I'll give it to you.
Well, and I know that about you, and you have that reputation, which is just amazing. So you mentioned, so like on the conversion lead, so if I want specifically conversion lead, would I have paid this $99 per month and that would get me there, or do I need to specifically request that? How does that all play out?
So if you wanted the lead conversion letters and you wanted like the ABC follow-up system, you want the dialogue we use and how we practice scripts, then let me see if I can show you what that looks like real quick.
Okay, great.
Let me get on and then I'll share my screen once I get to the right link.
Sure. And while we're waiting on you getting that, and so is it this $99 that does this, or is this a separate one?
It's $99 a month. There's no contract. It's month to month, and it loads you into our training center. And so in the training center, there's probably there's hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of content there. Let me share my screen with you.
Wow.
And so this is what the training center looks like. And so when you go into a training center, there's no setup fee, there's no contract, use it for however long you want to. So let's say you want lead conversion. If you go into the search bar and you type in lead conversion, what it'll do, it'll show you all the places in the training center where we discuss lead conversion systems. And so when I go into BAM session 5, the Internet Lead Conversion Strategy, this will be Verl teaching lead conversion, and then right there is the 7-day indoctrination series of emails.
Wow. I'll be darned. Wow.
Give me any topic. Give me any topic, and I'll show you where it is. So if you wanted to set up the operations manual.
So it's all right here.
We go into our teams that are running these 7-figure businesses, and we go into the operations manual, and we say, okay, let me show you how to build one. And so there will be a whole segment on building an operations manual, and then we actually give you in your download, and when you click on the operations manual itself, this will open up for you a Google Doc that has the layout of the operations manual, the table of contents, all of the information that you need to be able to build it, and then we go in and show you how to do it. So it's your first step into operational excellence. We didn't build this to sell it. We actually built it because teams were hiring us to coach them, and they would hire an admin, and the admin needed training, and so we built the training for them. It's become kind of an accidental business for us. But
that's great.
People get a lot of value. We have thousands of subscribers.
Wow. And so then I can go to how can I get more of this then? How can I get coaching, or like you said, you say no to coaching, and so do you have a team of coaches, or how do I get even more special help? Because for $99, like Christy, so let's take Christy for example. What was her investment then? What is she doing? What level or?
Yeah, so we have coaching. So I appreciate you asking me the deep questions on coaching. I have a tendency to just talk about all the great stuff I can do to help you without really selling the coaching. I've learned that people will raise their hand. And so if you just sign up for a free business consultation, then you'll talk to somebody on my sales team, and they'll really understand your business. Our coaching, initially it's $2,000 to onboard somebody, and we onboard it, and it's a huge process and a whole bunch of tools. And then our coaches range from $850 a month all the way up to $2,150 a month. So I always give you a coach that's listing and selling and performing a much higher level than you are. It's a hard thing to become a Workman Success coach. They go through a very intense training, and they have been coached by us. They have great businesses. The majority of our coaches earn more than $1 million a year in their real estate practice. And so it's $850 to $2,150 a month, and you just do a business consult. We'll help you.
And so let's really take this into perspective, because as I look at this, that really the way that agents, because we have a lot of turnover. There's a lot of new agents coming on board all the time in the real estate industry, and a lot are leaving. About a third it turns over, I think, every couple of years. And so I have a lot in my audience, are watching here that are relatively new, and they're saying, "Oh, I couldn't afford $2,000 per month." But I think the path is, you do the $99 and you start getting really up to speed. And then when you're making $100,000 a month or whatever, who cares about 2% of your incremental income that you help provide, right?
Yeah. So our target client is, you need to be making about $100,000 a year. And when you're doing about $100,000 a year, then it starts to make sense to create leverage and build a team and hire an assistant. And then when we don't just tell you what to do, we get involved in your business. We help you with the interview process. We have ads written. We have job descriptions, compensation plans, everything you need to build a 7-figure team. But most people start with us when they're making $100,000, and we just build from there. So start in the training center, then raise your hand and say, "I want to coach," and then we'll help you from there. And we're getting ready to launch a group coaching program that'll even have a lower price point for some of our new agents.
Good. Great. That's fantastic. And please send me that, and I'll send that out to everybody, on that. You also know about creating a winning culture, and one of the things I love about you also, besides your giving heart, and like you were saying earlier, is you really understand on these core values and how to be able to grow your business by giving back to your community. And can you help us a little with that? How how do you do that? Or what would you recommend for us to, help the community at the same time, help ourselves?
So I'll give you a couple of examples. When you talk, let's first talk about core values, and then we'll talk about giving back.
Okay.
And so our core values are so important to us as a company. We hire and fire to our core values. So,
cool.
And we also hire as a team. And so if the team doesn't believe that someone will adhere to our core values or fits our culture, then the team will eliminate them. If somebody deliberately steps on a core value, my lowest level employee can fire my OC level if they deliberately step on a core value. And so our core values include things like integrity, always have fun, having shared vision. We have core values that we go over every single week, and it's a lot of fun. The next thing I'll tell you is that part of culture. I have a client in California who called me up one day after a webinar, and he said, "Verl, I want you to be my coach." And I said, "Well, tell me what you're looking for." And he says, "Well, I want to give away $1 million." And well, tell me more about that. He says, "Well, I do 100 million in sales right now, and I give away 10% off the top of every commission dollar to one of 5 local charities, and I can't get past that. I'm looking to grow, and so I want you to help me build a team." And so I wasn't taking on any clients at the time, and I was really trying to figure out and reinvent myself as a business owner. But I decided that I was going to take him on as a client, personally coach him with the goal of giving away $1 million. And I can tell you that we've doubled his business. He's now selling $200 million a year, and we've given away $680,000 to date to one of 5 local charities. And there's nothing more rewarding to have his millennial buyer's agent standing next to the Children's Miracle Network or the American Cancer Society and hand him a check for $18,000 as part of 10% on one of their big multi-million-dollar houses they've sold. And so we have a culture of giving. We have real estate provides such a great opportunity for all of us. We make so much money off in real estate. And I think that if all we do is take, then we'll be measured by what we took. But if you give back and you make a difference in people's lives and you volunteer not just money, but your time, and you give back to your communities and you help the communities that are supporting your business, that your business will organically grow as a result. And so I believe that you get by giving, and the more you give, the more it will be added upon.
You bet. So any other specifics on how to give back to the community as far as ideas on, do you teach that? Like, is there a class on that, or, it could be.
We do events. And so we teach that events drive revenue. And what I mean by that is we put on events. We do events for Mother's Day, Father's Day, 4th of July, 9/11. On Thanksgiving, we give away pies, and for every pie that we give to a client, we donate one to a homeless shelter.
Wow!
And so there are thousands and thousands of pies being given away every Thanksgiving. So what we do is we encourage all of our teams to do a minimum of 4 community events a year, where their team is doing something to give back to the community. And then we have all of these agiles, all these sprints. You can pick whatever your community event is, and then we download the sprint for you with all of the to-dos, and it goes part of your project. And so, that's kind of the spirit we have, is the spirit of giving.
Yeah, I love that. And is that part of the $99 then? Also, this community, or is that a separate one?
So yes, you can be part of our. You don't have to pay anything to be part of our community. We do webinars every month. We have a Facebook page. You don't have to spend any money to be part of our community. You just have to want to make a difference in people's lives. And if you want some help with something, we'll share it with you. And so if you wanted a community event up there, or if you're talking about you specifically, Dr. Hank, you just send me an email and say, "Verl, I want to do something. What ideas do you have?" I'll give you 3 or 4 ideas. I'll email you the action plans for them. You just do it.
That is just fantastic. What fun. So it's really been, so you basically help produce high-producing teams. You develop and leverage the lead systems. You have these core values. You give back to your community. When you look at your whole world, that in the few minutes we have remaining, that what would you like to share with us that you think might be most helpful?
I would say that most people are stuck at the level they are based on the experiences they've had up to this point in their life, and that's what they believe is possible. And that I grew up in poverty. My dad was disabled when I was 11 years old, and we had 7 children. I grew up on church welfare where the neighbors and the church all helped us. And so my belief system of what was possible was very limited. And until I started putting myself in uncomfortable situations that stretched what I believe was possible, it didn't allow me to grow. And so I'm going to first tell you that I believe that we're all sons and daughters of God and that he doesn't make mistakes. And so that means that our potential is unlimited. And so let's remove the limiting beliefs we have on ourselves and ask ourselves, instead of why I can't do something, just say, why not? Let's do it.
Yeah.
And so the first thing is believe that you have a heritage and that there's no limits on your potential. And then the second thing is you don't have to do it by yourself. You know, whether you use me or somebody else, hire a coach, a Sherpa, someone who's been down the road a few times before that can shortcut your roadmap to success. Success is neither magical or mysterious. Success is a high level of execution on the basic fundamentals that everybody knows they should do, but most don't. And that was a quote by Peter Drucker, a time management expert. And so just get up every day, stop doing fake work, help as many people as you can so you can take care of your families and just have fun. Life is not a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving pretty or safely in a well-preserved body, but rather to skid in broadside, thoroughly used up, totally worn out, and then loudly proclaim, woo, what a ride. Let's have a great ride.
Absolutely. You know, life for sure, Verl, it was intended for us to have this joy ride and to have fun, like you say, and to be able to, you know, it feels so good, and always for all of us to be sensitive to how we feel. I believe it's God's communication system to us to know if we're on our track or not. And so when we're feeling good, it means we're on God's path. And when we're feeling bad, it means we're not thinking about this like God, and we're not where God wants us, you know, to be at that. And for you to really just embrace that, and then the values of fun on all that, you know, it's just a matter of, we really, if we just all lighten up and then realize that we do have the potential, we're made in the image and likeness of God, and we have the potential to become any and everything that we want. If we can think it, we can become it. And you're one of the avenues to do that. And as you were saying, have always had a coach. And Think, Feel, and Grow Rich, that book was around actually having this committee, what we now basically call boards, but, you know, having these boards and having these, you know, people and getting different people's perspectives and to working together and for a common cause like that. And so it's exciting. Any other last comment?
Just really quick, as you left the thought there, you said if you think it, you can become it. I'm a believer that that's not true, that you can think it, but then you actually have to do the work, and then you can become it. But if you're not willing to do the work, you can think anything you want. It starts when you get up in the morning and you get dressed for success and you get out there and do the things that other people aren't willing to do. And when you're willing to do that, that's when the magic happens.
Absolutely, Verl. Verl Workman, just the man to take you to the next level, to have your dreams to come true. And you can contact, again, best place to contact you, Verl. Where do you want us to go?
WorkmanSuccessSystems.com.
All right. Well, that sounds great. Verl, we have really appreciated you being on today, that you've taken us to the next level and how to take not only our business to the next level, but ourselves to the next level. So I thank you so much. And enjoy your vacation. And how many kids are on the boat? 18, I think?
21 kids on the boat today.
That's great. Well, have a fun time. Enjoy your vacation.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Thank you. All the best.